Hi everybody, thanks so much Gabe and everyone for the opportunity to share. There are threads from all the different lightning talks and the conversations that we've heard today that I'm going to try to pull together for you. How do you operationalize all of those things in a Canadian municipal context? So, procurement, very hot right now, very hot. Anybody who works in government knows that this is one of the main tools or mechanisms that you've got to do anything. So the way that it works, the way that we can leverage it, the way that we can push it at the margins is really important. So I'm going to talk to you today about a program that we've got that just wrapped its first cohort, had a great demo day, called the Civic Accelerator. In most cases, you're buying road salt, you're buying trucks, you're buying buses, whatever it might be, traditional procurement works great. It's premised on the notion that you know exactly what you need and you can describe that solution in intricate detail. But with fast-moving technologies, with the wave of government modernization that is happening, there are areas at the edges where traditional procurement breaks down. So what does that look like? We as public servants aren't always the best at scoping out what solutions might look like, and that's not good design, frankly, to project exactly what it is that you're going to build and then go out and ask someone to do it. We don't always define our problems properly. And if you don't nail that, everything that you layer on top of it is going to be a little bit off, and so will your outcomes, and so will your financial results. Startups are, in many cases, disadvantaged. In other cases, they just don't even bother trying to engage with government, trying to access government business. The sales cycles are very long, the process is grinding and rigorous, so we know that in most cases we're cut off from a really exciting pool of innovators that are working at the cutting edge. And finally, the lack of flexibility, I'm thinking about what Becca said around experimentation in government, the lack of flexibility in purchasing does not allow for you to do the kind of iteration, prototyping, experimentation that we know can lead to great design and great results. So, solve all those problems. Easy. One key constraint. Do it within the letter and the spirit of Ontario purchasing law. No problem. So, Guelph's Civic Accelerator. What we've done is we've turned our city departments into the research and development labs for civic tech companies that are seeking to commercialize new products, bring them to market for the government, to sell the government, sorry. For city staff, this is a new tool, this is a new avenue that we've got to solve tricky problems and to derive that modernization that all orders of government in Canada and around the world are striving to do. It's a procurement innovation, I'll get into the details on that in a second, that incentivizes startups to work with cities instead of pushing them as far away as possible. And finally, it can create more informed purchasing decisions. We're very careful to say that this doesn't lead to cheaper decisions per se, but better decisions, which, when you project it out over the decades, ultimately will be cheaper. But upfront costs, it's important to make that distinction. So what did we actually do? We issued 3 RFPs where we took out all of the specs of what we wanted and we put in problems. It was a challenge competition wrapped in an RFP, essentially. So we focused on properly defining our problems, and then we challenged startups, small to medium-sized enterprises, whoever might, students, whoever it might be, to tell us what the solution looked like. And we offered a package of incentives to the winners. They got the opportunity to embed within city departments to work directly with their customer base, essentially. This was a great fit for companies that are at a particular phase in product development. Think about a traditional business accelerator center in the private sector. You get access to funding opportunities, industry experts, mentors, a period of time where all of those resources are easily available to you, and you can work to grow your business or your product. That's what this is in the municipal context. The industry experts are our staff in the particular departments. Mentors, we delivered through our various partners. Funding opportunities, there's been some exciting things there. I'm totally going to knock this over. So we issued those 3 challenges, and we're done now, by the way. This is the first time, I think, other than demo day, that I'm able to look back instead of just saying, this is what we hope to achieve, and by the way, it's going to be fantastic. I can tell you, looking back now, that it's been really great and really exciting. So we issued 3 challenges. We took winners on 2. One of the challenges was, in Guelph, we don't have smart meters for water. So how can we equip people with the kind of data, real-time data, that they could use to detect leaks, floods, but also change their behavior to encourage conservation. And we worked with a great company out of Kitchener-Waterloo called Alert Labs, and that little device on their right is what they call a Fitbit for your home. And that sends real-time information, it essentially hacks your water meter and sends real-time information to your phone about how your house is performing. The second challenge that we had was around how to improve the user experience on planning, consultations, and engagement. This is one of the most common public engagements that cities do, but most of us probably just know them from those white signs saying there's a planning application and jargon, 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 and long URL, maybe a QR code if they're, anyway, enough about QR codes. So we worked with a great company out of Ottawa called Milieu, and Milieu had a platform that brings together planners and developers and the public in a great engaging way, and has all kinds of great back-end analytics and artificial intelligence to give great data to our planning staff, which they can then use to report to council, to report to the public about what people feel about a particular development. So both of those projects have moved on to an initial purchase. That's great. We're really happy with that. This period of experimentation turned into actual programs, and we are spending actual money. I'm going to get into a little bit of what we learned, and I'll just do that rapid fire because I know that we're coming to the end here. So our value prop on this program was that we can unlock a different kind of value for these companies. We did not provide cash this was not a fee for service. We did not provide cash to the companies that entered the accelerator and did the embed period. Instead, what we did was we said, what other kind of value is worth money for them in their development cycle? Access to customers, access to these mentors, to build a product from the inside out in a sector that typically would never, and you could never do that, has equivalent cash value, essentially. And that was borne out by the fact we had a great applicant pool, and that the companies throughout have been saying, yes, this is worth money to us. We are an internal accelerator. We exist fully within the City of Guelph. And our challenge, that value prop hinges totally on host departments, in this case planning and water and our clerks department, unlocking their staff time to give and to work with these companies for 3 months. That's a lot of time that is really an investment. And so we built them into the problem discovery, to the applications, and to the embed, all the way through, so that while they worked, this was an investment in their potential future results and their ability to serve citizens. Huge incentive there. And corollary to that is you got to nail your problem discovery. We had a third challenge that we stumbled a little bit, and then the applicants were all a little off, and the whole thing was just a little off. And so we didn't proceed with a winner on that one, but that really reinforced the lesson that we did well on the other two as far as how you define your problems. Partnerships matter. No city, especially a city of our size, mid-size Ontario city, can do this alone. We worked with the Open Data Exchange, with the Guelph Lab, which is our civic innovation partnership, and I think we've heard that theme throughout all the talks, is that we're stronger together as we collaborate. I mentioned that both of these things have led to a purchase. That's wonderful, but the process itself has a lot of value. We get exposed to new ways of thinking, to new ways of solving problems. You learn more about complex issues. And finally, there is a huge untapped demand for this kind of thing. It's evidenced by all the people who are here in the room, by the excitement around the launch of Code for Canada. There is a wave about to hit around this kind of stuff. I'm just happy that we're on it, and we're going to be seeing a lot more. This is going to be very normal, very fast, and we're trying to open source this project in the same way that Jen Palka mentioned for Code for America. We've spoken with over a dozen cities, a few different provinces, the federal government, and internationally a little bit as well, about what we've done, how we've done it, and we're popping the hood for anyone who's curious. This is a picture from our demo day. There's Alert Labs presenting. This was about a month ago. Like I said, this is happening very fast, and there's a wave about to hit. Who should you be watching? City of Toronto and their Bloomberg funding. They're going to launch, or they've already announced the program, very similar to the Accelerator. Very exciting to see what they're going to be able to pull off. Cité Montréal is Canada's largest smart city accelerator, is how they build themselves. They are external to the City of Montreal, which provides a really interesting contrast for anyone interested in the design of these things. Of course, your friendly neighborhood Civic Accelerator, and the province of British Columbia is also running a Startup in Residence Challenge right now that they just announced. So there's lots happening here, and keep an eye on these folks. If any of this is interesting, if you are from government, if you are from a startup, if you walk in off the street because they have croissants, do please reach out. We are very happy to share the lessons of what we've done. We're always looking for new collaborators, new energy, new skill sets. So I'm absolutely happy to connect with anybody after the fact. Thanks so much.